Alright, hello. So, today is Tim's Inner Monologues number 20. I find that as every day passes, I seem to be running out on things to talk about. In the sense, my mind is so occupied with other things, mainly work, mainly, how to make money. Hold on, let me fucking get like a bright. Oh, I can't see anything now. Oh, that is really blinding. How blinding is that? Wise for me. Okay, you know what? I think we're gonna run with no, nothing. All right, perfect. Yeah. Anyway, back to it. So I've kind of been running low on, I guess, ideas, being unable to talk about what I should or shouldn't talk about, and it's becoming more and more difficult to try and formulate a sort of video that will actually have sustenance rather than me talking on a tangent for 15 or 20 minutes. I want to post things with actual value rather than just talking out of thin air. But yeah, anyway, we will go into this video. Today's Tim's Inner Monologues is, I'm trying to think of this on the spot. It's, you have to give me a minute actually to think about this one. No, my headphones have just killed themselves. Okay, cool, thought of it. So today's Tim's Inner Monologues is going to be on nature. In fact, no, never mind, I've just changed it. Today's Inner Monologues is going to be on taking risk. So, in life, in order to achieve greatness, you must be willing to take a degree of risk, right? In order to get to the next level, right? For example, if you're a gambling addict, or you have ever played blackjack, Texas poker, some sort of casino game, you will understand that the approach in order to make more money is by risking the money that you have. So the risk is, for example, let's say you have £100, risking that £100 to making more money. It's the same with trading. It's the same with basically anything else when it comes to making more money. Being able to risk or trade off something in order to make more of the desired outcome. In this case, it would be money. But in terms of risk, in terms of being able to risk things in your life and becoming better as an individual, it doesn't always have to be money. So for example, if you're going, let's say you're very, very much out of shape and you're taking the risk of committing yourself to training, committing yourself, turn that off actually. Committing yourself to a structured training regime. You are risking, obviously granted there is money involved such as food, clothes and membership, but it's not the biggest thing. You are risking certain aspects of your life that you hold dear to in order to become a better person in the future. For example, you want to get better in shape, you want to lose all weight and become ripped. What are you risking then? Well, firstly, you're risking the habits that you've developed over the last couple of years, if not decades, depending on how old you are. For example, if every single night after work you go for a pint with your boys, you realize that you're now risking that and removing it out of your life completely. Then it is the social aspect. For example, if you were going out every Friday, Saturday and Sunday night clubbing, you're now going to be in the gym training instead. Are you willing to risk that? Friendships, even because you no longer spend time with them, are you willing to risk that? Are you willing to risk the feeling of isolation and being isolated and lonely? Are you willing to fight against yourself every single day to do things that you don't want to do? This is the risk that you will be taking. For example, if you are a fighter, and the only way to become better is by fighting higher ranked people. What risk is there? Well, it's the physical risk of fighting and then the mental risk of fighting. And the sacrifices that you must be willing to put in order to get the result that you want out of it. This is what the risk is. But always when it comes to risking something, there is always a reward. A reward which is much higher than the risk guaranteed. If you gamble £100 at blackjack and you land a blackjack on a 21, what is your reward? Well, it's £250. The same way, if you risk, for example, changing your life around, losing all the weight, not drinking anymore and eating well, you might risk the social aspect and not being able to do habits that you used to. However, you now have the reward of a self-sufficient, great physique, body, sharp, and mind. The same way that when you look at God, when you turn to God, you basically bear the risk of ostracization, your family not liking you, your friends not liking the way that you think anymore, losing out on friendships and family, rejecting things that you would normally once do. But the reward is far more than the risk is. Why, if I was to tell you, hey, if you do this so and so and so and so, and you're going to lose a few things, but in return you get a million times more of what you've required, of what you've risked, you would risk even more than what I have asked you to do. And that is the thing about risk and reward. That is the thing about risking. In order to achieve greatness, you must be willing to risk. When Napoleon went into battle, the risk was always the fear of death. The risk was always the fear of failure. Yet he managed to conquer Persia and all the surrounding areas without fail. He was able to become one of the best generals in the world until he fell to a woman's touch. But regardless, he was willing to risk everything he had. When he would fight and be outnumbered by the numbers, he was willing to risk not only his men, but himself in battle by trying out a technique that was never done in war before. And the reward was him winning the war that he was outnumbered to. This is what you must look at in life. In order to achieve what you want, in order to be better, you must be willing to risk what you have. For example, let's say I'll take my example. So I have a fight in 29 days, 30 days, whichever it is. Fighting on one of the biggest shows in the UK. What am I risking? Well, there's a few things I'm risking. One, I'm risking my diet, even though I haven't eaten the best today. But anyway, I'm risking my social life because I no longer have a social life because I'm always dialed in training. I can't delay things. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't spend time hanging out with people. I risk my physical health because I'm constantly training and putting my body under pressure. I risk my mental health because I'm so isolated from the outside world and focused into one thing. It is almost like tunnel vision. I risk the fear of being hurt in the ring. I risk the fear of dying in the ring, which is always a possibility. But the reward is far greater. In fact, the reward would be worth far more than 8 weeks of just solitude, or in this case, it'd be 30 days. I can be promoted on social media. I can fight again. I can show my coach that I am the person that I am, and that I'm not somebody to be thrown away and weakened for. I can, make a name for myself. I'm able to put through and show that I am somebody not to be stepped in the ring with. And that reward is far greater than anything else I want in life. In fact, that reward is far more than what I want in life. But in order to achieve that reward, in order to be in the spotlight and to have the interview, to sit there with a medal around my neck and cheerfully have pizza afterwards, I must be willing to risk and sacrifice the things that I have now and the habits that I'm doing now. This is really, really, really important. Without greatness, without risk, you will never be able to achieve greatness. Napoleon didn't win the wars and the battles that he won by taking it safe. No, he risked everything he had in the premise that you had it all and more. Now, in this sense, you're not fighting physical battles. Last time I checked, I'm not against war of Persia, for example. But you are risking your whole life. You are risking what you have at the moment in order to achieve greatness. And then the question will always come, what if it doesn't work out? Well, if you're risking your mental and physical health, you get into the fight and you lose. Well, maybe it might have been a waste in that sense because you didn't win. But the lessons and the experience that you have built over time has bettered you as an individual to win again. Now, arguably, if you're in war and you lost, well, the risk is your life. But then again, if I was to tell you your risk is your life and the reward is far greater, wouldn't you fight with everything you had, knowing that that your life was on the line? This is the sort of mindset you must be willing to have. Are you willing to take amounts of risk in order to achieve the greatness and the stories and the future that you want. When you're 20 years old and you're still living with your family and you have a bit of debt, you should be risking, or even no debt, or even money saved up, you should be risking everything and more that you have. You should be putting all the hours in. You should be trying business ventures. You should be trying out ways to make money. Any sort of ways to make money. Any sort of ways to get out of a situation that you should be. Because without this risk, without risking your social life, your family life, your money, your mental health especially, how will you know if you want to be great? If you want to achieve greatness, it cannot be done through mediocre results. I know many people nowadays don't want to be the person that sits in the office 5 days a week, 40 or 50 hours a week, and then repeat the life for 60 years. My life is not to be working for 5 days and enjoying the 2, or working for 60 years and enjoying the 10. That is not my life. My life is to work as hard as I possibly can for the next 5 years and enjoy the rest of my life until the day I die. I am not a man to be able to take things, thrown out of the window. So I'm willing to take risk now, knowing that if it is to pay off with all the hard work that I do, I am able to get the reward at the end, which is far more than the risk is now. And this is what I want to leave you guys with before I go, because it is late, it is 9:30, I want to be in bed, and I need to be up at 5 in the morning tomorrow. You must be willing to accept that in order to be great, you must be willing to risk what you have now. And the pursuit of greatness is only achieved through hard work and sacrifice. Without sacrifice, nothing is meaningless. Without sacrifice, the reward is meaningless. If, for example, why is a six-pack and a great body adhered to? Why is it always looked upon as the goal physique? Well, it's very, very simple. It takes dedication and hard work. If I was to wake up one morning and snap my fingers and have a six-pack and be absolutely ripped, then no one would bat an eye, because, well, it's easily achievable. In the same way, if I wanted to be the best fighters in the world and be a world champion, if I was to just snap my fingers in the morning, then I would just be another world champion. It would mean nothing. In fact, I wouldn't even be a world anything. It would mean nothing. No one would look at me like, oh, I just snap fingers. No, because the pursuit of greatness takes hard work and sacrifice that not many are willing to do. How many millionaires do you know that have been from the ground up? Nothing. All the way to million. That's much more looked upon than daddy's money. Something to leave you all with. God bless you all. Have a fantastic day, and see you in the next one.